Hey, good morning and welcome to today's Daily Dose. I'm Eric Watson of Team Watson out here in Bowie, Maryland, where our mantra is wealth, wellness, and winning. And wealth is all about promoting a wealthy mindset, a mindset of being debt-free, financially free, and being able to pass on a financial legacy to your family. The wellness is all about keeping closely in mind those things that you put in and around your bodies so we can live longer, healthier lives. And that leads me to my latest objective group called 50 is the New 30, a group of folks who are approaching the age of 50, older than the age of 50, younger, but who need accountability partners in their wellness journey. So we work together. We have fitness folks in there. We have dietitians and stuff like that. So we are working together as accountability partners to help each other on our wellness journey. So if you'd like to be added, just let me know. 50 is a new 30. We'll get you in. And winning is all about a winner's mindset. Promoting a mindset of those who get knocked down, but get right back up and keep on moving out towards their objectives. Understanding that life is going to throw you some curveballs. There are going to be some unexpected occurrences that come about in life, but you have to roll with the punches, so to speak, and understand that a winner will always keep forging ahead. All right. So wealth, wellness, and winning is where you can reach us on our Facebook page and on my personal Facebook page at Eric Watson. And just let me know what you think. All right. And today, I will say again, as I say each and every day, I am yet again blessed to be blessed on today, what is the greatest day of my life. And some who do not know may ask, well, why is it the greatest day of your life, Eric? Here's why. Because today is the most recent occurrence where I've been allowed to get up out of bed, take yet another breath, walk amongst the living, but more importantly, able to share with each and every one of you. Because I truly feel that I am blessed to have the platform and the ability to share because everybody ain't able. So I hope that someone out there can be positively impacted, positively influenced by something that is said today. And I truly feel that if I can touch but one, my job is done. So if I can reach out there and touch one person, I feel like my job for the day is done. And it may not be directly, it could be indirectly. It could be through you. So if you know someone who may not see this, but needs to hear what was said, please share it with them. Whether it be on Facebook, a discussion, whatever the case may be, but let them know what was said. All right. So with that, let's go ahead and get into today's Daily Dose. And today's quote is by a gentleman named Henry David Thoreau. All right. And for those who do not know, Henry David Thoreau was an American essayist, poet, philosopher, abolitionist, naturalist, tax resister, development critic, surveyor, and a historian. All right, so he held a lot of hats. But what Henry David Thoreau said was, if you would convince a man that he does wrong, do right. But do not care to convince him. Men will believe what they see. Let them see. That was a mouthful, so I'm going to say it again. If you would convince a man that he does wrong, do right. But do not care to convince him. Men will believe what they see. Let them see. Now, Henry David Thoreau lived in the 1800s. I get it. The language may not be what we're accustomed to hearing today, but I would liken that to something in today's terms along the lines of don't talk about it, be about it. Or show and prove. All right. And I think that's the gist of what Henry David Thoreau was saying is don't talk about it, be about it. You got to show me. I don't know if he was from Missouri, but that's a show me state kind of comment right there. All right. So it's not about talking or trying to convince. All right. Don't try to, convince someone that they're doing wrong. You do right and show them the right way. Okay. Show and prove. Now, again, this week we're talking about leadership. All right. So that is a very key and important trait of a leader, is to be able to show and prove. All right. So first of all, let's go back to what we talked about earlier this week. On Monday, we talked about leaders provide hope. All right. Leaders are individuals who inspire you. Okay. Leaders are those who provide you with the hope that you too can achieve your goals. That's what we talked about on Monday. Tuesday, we talked about a leader should be vulnerable. They should show vulnerability. They should show that they are real people doing real things, and that they are grassroots kind of folks, because that's where you grow that trust in someone. You will be more apt to follow someone that is a leader that you trust, and you'd be more apt to trust someone that you can relate to. All right. So they need to show that vulnerability and show they're real people. On Wednesday, we talked about how leaders produce leaders. All right. You can't keep it all to yourself. You have to pass that leadership knowledge on to the next person. All right. And build a cadre of leaders around you in whatever you're doing. Okay. So today we're talking about, and I'll just keep it simple, show and prove. All right. One thing real quick. My leadership skills were honed by my 20 years that I spent in the Marine Corps. Now, I may not have been the best of leaders. I think some of the Marines that worked for me, saw that I was one of those that was vulnerable. I hope that I provided hope for them, but I tried to lead by example. All right, I tried to be what I expected of them. All right, but one of the Marine Corps leadership principles is to set the example. All right, and that's straight out of all the manuals. One of the leadership principles is to set the example. All right, and that's what that's all about, is you have to be the leader that you want others to be. You have to set that example. You have to show them through your actions what you would like to see in them. And another thing, a study by a gentleman named Edgar Dale, who's an American educator. He developed the cone of experience. And what he said was, we remember 10% of what we read, 20% of what we hear, 30% of what we see, 50% of what we see and hear, 70% of what we discuss with others, 80% of what we personally experience, and 95% of what we teach others. All right, so for the purposes of this discussion, we'll eliminate that 95% of what we teach others and the 80% of what we personally experience, because we're trying to get people to the point where they have that experience. All right. We're trying to lead people to a point where they have that experience that they can share with others, that they will remember for a lifetime. But again, 95% of what you teach, that's the best way to remember something, is by teaching it. But we won't talk about that right now. We'll talk about the 30% of what you see, the 50% of what you see and hear, and the 70% of what you discuss with others. All right. So you have to see, you have to set that example, show it, because that 30 and 50% is what you see, and you have to be able to discuss it with others to cement that knowledge within your mind. All right. So it's all about showing people what they should be doing as a leader in any organization. All right. And if it's, in amongst our team, all right, I hope that I am providing an example for the rest of the team with my actions, with what I do. I don't ask anyone on the team to do anything that I'm not doing on a regular basis. All right. So I try my best to show and prove. And I hope that anyone on my team would vouch for that because I want them to see what I'm doing and emulate exactly what I'm doing. That's why everything in this industry has to be, it has to be something that you can repeat over and over and over again. It has to be duplicatable. It has to be duplicatable. You have to be able to duplicate what your leaders are doing in order to have the same success that they're having. So you don't have to reinvent the wheel each and every time. You have a proven system day in, day out that you go through, a proven system that has been successful for other people. All you have to do is follow the play. Follow the play, and it will help you to success. But that's because individuals are leading by example. They are showing you exactly what to do, and all you have to do is follow the breadcrumbs, follow what that person is doing. All right. So again, Henry David Thoreau said, if you would convince a man that he does wrong, do right. All right. But do not care to convince him. Men will believe what they see. Let them see. Show them what to do. Show them what to do. An effective leader will always lead by example. And, you know, we always have that saying, right? Especially dealing with kids, do as I say, not as I do. Well, we all know, and I know better than others because, you know, I've slipped up with some things I shouldn't have said around my kids and found that they do what they see, right? You can't tell someone to do as I say, not as I do. They were going to do what you do. So the example is the best teacher. It is the best leadership principle that you can take a hold of, and understand that people are going to do what you do, not what you say. So don't talk about it, be about it, show and prove, lead by example, and your business will thrive. All right. So with that, I want to hear from each and every one of you. I want to know, are you a leader? And are you a leader that leads by example? Or do you expect people to do what you say and not necessarily what you do? And if you are not a leader, do you follow those who lead by example? Would you be more apt to follow someone who is doing exactly what they're telling you to do in order to help you be successful? If they're doing it day to day, would you be more apt to follow that person or someone who you don't necessarily know whether they're doing it or not? You can't see what they're doing. You don't know what they're doing. They're telling you to do something and you're hearing it, but you're not seeing it. Who would you be more apt to follow? Who would you be more apt to pattern yourself after? All right. I want to hear from you, from the leaders, from those who aren't leaders. I want to know what you personally think about what Henry David Thoreau had to say. All right. So again, you can drop any comments in Wealth, Wellness, and Winning on our Facebook page, on my personal Facebook page at Eric Watson, and just let me know what you think. What type of leader are you? Are you setting the example? Are you the one that people are looking at and trying to emulate, or are you just saying what needs to be said, hoping that people will do what you say? Right? It's a big difference, a very big difference. So with that, drop your comments. Let me know what you think. Share it if you like what you heard. And with that, I'll go ahead and give thanks to those who joined me this morning. My good friend, Master Lloyd Irvin, the absolute guru when it comes to mixed martial arts. I appreciate you for joining me this morning. Also, my fraternity brother. Thank you so much, bro. I appreciate you. Jay Solis, Kennedy Cavalier, high school classmate of mine. I appreciate you for joining me, brother. Devin Roberts, an absolute superstar in business and business associate of mine. Thank you so much for joining me, bro. And he said, great morning to you, sir. And my wife, Tammy, as always, thank you for joining me, ma'am. Superstar out there, Catherine Watson, same name, no relation, but she's an absolute beast in business out there doing things, making things happen down in the SIP. Thank you so much for joining me, Kathy. I appreciate you. Byron Franklin of WVTC Radio out there in Chicago, Illinois. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you. Yvette Gray said, good morning. Good morning to you, ma'am. I appreciate you. And a thumbs up back at you. All right. Tony Grillo, my good friend that actually grew up with my brother out there in Oxon Hill. Hey, thank you so much for joining me this morning, brother. I appreciate you. Devin Roberts. See, you all killing me with the emojis. Stop it. Stop with the emojis. I don't know what that means. I can't even see it because it's so small on my phone. And you see I wear glasses, right? So, Devin, whatever you said, back at you, bro. Mark Cameron down there in Jamaica, man. Hey, good morning to you, brother. I appreciate you for joining me. And look forward to seeing you day after day. Thank you so much. Sean Presley, thank you so much for joining me. Demetrius Hall, another Kennedy Cavalier from down the road. He actually lives down the street from me. We need to link up, brother. Give me a call sometime and let me know when you're free. Mark Cameron said, it means that you convince someone by your behavior. Exactly. People are, and what the quote actually said is, don't care to convince them. So you're not trying to convince them with words. So exactly what you're saying, you're convincing them with your actions and with your behavior. So that is spot on, Mark. I appreciate that comment. Janelle Hargrove, thank you so much for joining me. Dietra Haynes, absolute superstar in business. And Janelle is too, by the way. Another, both of them business associates doing big things. I appreciate y'all. Thank you for joining me. Stephanie Irby Cord, thank you so much for joining me. Terrence Gilliam, my fraternity brother, and another Syracuse Orange in the house. Thank you so much for joining me. And Jeff Carter, thank you so much for joining me as well. Mark Cameron said you were a good flight instructor, though. And something about tour job description as attack helicopter instructor, I did not forget. Yes, I was an instructor, an attack helicopter instructor when I was in the Marine Corps. And hopefully those who I taught learned well. I didn't teach advanced tactics. I taught the basics of flight in the Cobra helicopter, but hopefully as a leader, hopefully they learned from my example and how I flew, and hopefully they took some things away from that. So, hey, thank you so much. I'm glad you remembered that, brother. Hey, Kimberly Wilson, another Syracuse Orange in the house, living up there in B-More, keeping the streets safe up there in B-More. I appreciate you, Kim. Thank you so much for joining me. Mark Cameron said, sorry, a typo. You're still in bed. I got you, bro. Rob Mosley, another one of my fraternity brothers. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you, bro. Mark Rutenberg, thank you so much for joining me, and good morning to you as well. Michael Files, thank you so much for joining me. Jason Terrell, out there in Cali, another one of the bros. Hey, it's kind of early out there for you, huh? Well, thank you for joining me anyway. I know it's early for you, but I appreciate you joining me this morning. Sugar Brown, thank you so much for joining me. Mark Cameron said, a leader is a teacher that validates his ideas by the work they do. Speaking about it is one thing, but doing the work is another. Exactly. You have to do it, show and prove. And you know, we can talk about it, and a lot of that stuff is reinforced through discussion, but is reinforced through discussion after seeing it and after talking about it and talking about what you saw, right? So, hey, I appreciate that comment, Mark. Reggie Pegues, I got your name right this time. Hey, thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you, brother. Reginald Leon Bottoms, thank you so much for joining me, bro. Janelle Hargrove said, thank you for sharing. Have a great day on purpose. Absolutely. I'm going to have an outstanding, superb day on purpose just because you said that, Janelle. So thank you so much. and Kia Banks, thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate each and every one of you. I love you all. And thank you so much for checking me out. And again, if you know someone that needs to hear what was said, show and prove, set the example, just let them know. Okay. Share it with them on Facebook. Share it with them in the conversation. But just let them know that a true leader leads by example. All right. So, hey, I love you all. I wish each and every one of you a blessed and prosperous day. Gonna be signing off now. So until we meet again, bye-bye.